I want to apologize to the most important figure in the Cowboys franchise right now, and Dak Prescott. I just want to, hey Dak, I know you're gonna see this, bro. I love you. I love you dearly. You know how I feel about you. You know when I see you, but the fact that you have to deal with that, I feel for you.
And what's really messed up is we as fans, we've taken the cheese for a very long time. We've taken the cheese and overly criticized guys like Tony Romo, overly criticized Dak Prescott, and not give them any benefit of the doubt as it pertains to the circumstances that they're being expected to win under. And it's completely unfair. When it gets to the point where other players can even see like, yo, this is just a very unfair situation. I mean, what can you say, man? What can you say?
You know, for someone that doesn't actually love the game the way you think he should love the game and understand what I need to do to make sure my team that I run so I can get the credit for, he really doesn't get it yet. And the fact that you have to deal with that and smile at that and really understand how he feels about you, and knowing that he's still not going to change and still won't get from in front of the camera so you can do the job that you need to do without the added pressure from the top. Dak, I love you, bro. And like at some point, we just talked about this last night. We just talked about bulletin board material that is adding unneeded pressure to a team that has not achieved the greatness that you once had in 94, 95, and 96, whatever the years were.
Mm-hmm.
Stop talking about it. Just you don't have to. There's nothing else to say. Cowboys fans, I apologize to y'all as well. I apologize because you shouldn't have to endure this shit. You shouldn't have to. Any other owners talking, any other owners having, I know, just like, come on, man. Jerry's supposed to be on his yacht somewhere. Jerry's supposed to be on his yacht somewhere, enjoying yourself, enjoying your off time, allowing the players, to do what they do. Like, come on, Jerry.
Does he realize just a month ago, after the loss to Green Bay, he came out and said we're all in?
I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I think I'm finally at a point where Jerry has gotten to me. At this point, Cowboys fans have a decision to make. Either you're going to be a fan of the organization and a fan of the star, a fan of the team, and be an unwilling slave to a lifetime of ineptitude, or you can take some control and make a decision. Do you want to root for this team or do you not? Even understanding that we're probably never going to see another Super Bowl be won by the Dallas Cowboys as long as Jerry Jones is alive, unfortunately, and probably as long as Stephen Jones has anything to do with it as well. Chad Ochocinco or Chad Johnson hit on a variety of very, very valid points that's hard to argue against, even for the most fervent Cowboys fan. It's hard to argue that this team has put forth the maximum amount of effort that it takes to win a Super Bowl. You can even see there, even Chad Johnson is getting to a point to where he sees what's going on with this organization. Hell, any of these dudes that are talking about the sport in a genuine and authentic capacity, any of these guys that have played, they even understand what it would feel like to play for an owner that tells you something like, let's win with less, a month after saying we're going all in. Now, even though Jerry originally said all in was just essentially signing back his main guys, still, just the optics, it's not palatable. It's not palatable as a fan to hear your owner that already talks way too damn much, but to hear your owner come out and say, just a month and a half or so ago, just to hear your owner come out and say, oh, we're all in. And then after free agency is passed, after they have let go a lot of their best depth rotational pieces, after they've let go of some starters and have done pretty much next to nothing to actually fill those holes, then you want to say something like, oh, we need to win with less. I'm finally at my breaking point. Jerry Jones has beaten me down. I cannot sit here any longer and act like I have any confidence or any clue as to what this team is going to do. What I can tell you though, as a fan of football first, before anything else, as a fan of football, I need to step back and really decide if I'm willing to go on this unfruitful ride that the Joneses are going to take us on for the foreseeable future, or if my next stop out of this madhouse is going to be whenever Dak and the guys that I actually do really like on this team are finally gone. Because I'm going to be real. My list of players on this particular Cowboys team, as far as my favorite players and players that I actually really care about as a fan, beyond the fact that they're playing for my team, but the players that I care about as a football player and I enjoy watching as a fan, my list has gotten about this small and only consists of maybe about 4 or 5 guys. So once those dudes are gone, I'm going to have to sit long and hard and really think, am I going to continue to put myself through this? Cowboys fans are going to have to sit long and hard and think, are they going to continue to put themselves through this? Now, I was initially trying to hold back and hang back a little bit and just see how the offseason played out before I started to apply too much pressure on the Joneses and on the team, because I wanted, for the most part, to give you guys some place of positivity to escape to during this hectic offseason that we as Cowboys fans are experiencing right now. But I'm going to tell y'all, man, it's starting to get to a place of you have to be unrealistic as it pertains to this team to really have a positive outlook as it pertains to what's going on. So I'm going to say this right now.
No, I do not think the Cowboys are trying to rebuild or have their mindset on rebuilding. I just think the Joneses really suck at their jobs. And so the team is going into almost like a rebuilding phase because they really suck at their jobs. And I do not think that their intention is to rebuild. Hell, do they even know how to rebuild? Have we ever actually seen them execute a rebuild before? Not really.
The saddest part about this is Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. We have players at very important positions that are way too good for this team to really get as bad as it needs to get, for it to reflect on the Joneses the way that his job performance should be actually reflecting on him. Because to be quite honest, we saw how this team looked when Dak Prescott got injured. To be quite honest, sans a Dak Prescott, y'all can start Cooper Rush if you want to. I remember this team not being able to score 20 points when Cooper Rush was the starting quarterback. Sans Dak Prescott, what would this team actually be looking like over the last 6, 7, 8 years? Would this team even be as competitive as it has been? Would this team even be worth cheering for? Because they haven't done a good job of finding any other quarterbacks. Hell, they lucked up into both Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. The football guys just dropped those dudes into their lap. Tony Romo was an undrafted free agent, and Dak was a 4th round quarterback that the Cowboys didn't even want to pick for real. So it's not like that the Joneses are the ones that set up the franchise to be where they are right now. Yes, they've done a decent job of putting talent around guys and putting talent on the team, but also a lot of the best players on our team are guys that we didn't even expect to be the type of guys that they are now. No one expected Micah Parsons to come in and look like one of the best football players of all time. No one expected Dak Prescott to be a franchise quarterback. No one expected Trevon Diggs to develop into a lockdown corner. No one expected Deron Bland to set an NFL record for interceptions returned for a touchdown. The only thing the Cowboys have done a decent job of is essentially drafting offensive linemen that are at least starting level guys. Besides that, a lot of their skill position picks they lucked up into. So that's making me take a step back as a fan and taking into account what Chad Johnson said here, and everything he said was facts. And like I said, it's hard to defend anything going on with this team, but Jerry Jones making the statement that this team needs to win with less or figure out how to win with less, him making that statement completely makes me take a step back and be like, wait a minute, bro. This smells and looks like some sabotage. And unfortunately, I believe that the players that we have on our team are too good for it to truly look like a sabotage by the time the season is over with. And the sad part is, I don't even know if it's really a sabotage. I think the Joneses just really suck at running a football organization. Just really think about all the things that have transpired over the last decade and a half as it pertains to the Dallas Cowboys. Think about the teams that they built around Tony Romo and the issues that we consistently saw with that team. Think about the teams that they've built around Dak Prescott and the issue that we've consistently seen with these teams. The running game, the running defense, consistent offense that complements each other. It just seems like nothing can ever get on the same page at the same time. And when you have an owner that is essentially letting his entire fan base know, like, hey guys, we're not going to do everything it takes. We're not going to exhaust all resources. We're not going to pull every trigger that we need to pull to make sure that this team can be competitive at the highest level. Then you kind of just left in a position where you have to throw your hands up and say, hey, I submit and I give up. I'm going to be real. I cannot sit here and try to make sense of the things that they're doing anymore. At first, I was thinking, okay, this is a measured sacrifice that they're making, a measured risk that they're taking because they have confidence in the guys like Sam Williams and some of these younger guys behind these other players. But to then spit in fans' faces when we know the cap situation, when we know the buttons that can be pushed to make it better, and then to spit in the fans' faces and to completely go back on what you told us a month and a half, 2 months ago, and then come back and say the complete opposite and say, well, never mind, we're actually just going to have to win with the worst team than what we had this season. It's just, I can't explain it, y'all. Like I said, nothing is going to change with this team unless somehow we as fans manage to hurt Jerry's ego. And the only way I can see that happening is him being embarrassed on national television by way of getting booed on national TV on opening day or something is going to happen where we in mass as a fan base are able to come together and let Jerry know we hate the way you're running the team. We hate the way you're running the team, Jerry, because at the end of the day, the way you're running the team makes us have to say we still them same old damn Cowboys. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Take it away, Pastor. I just can't deal with this no more, bro.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.